ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ bóṣù bá ṣe kéré tó tó ṣọba ìyàwó àwòrán kéré àánú dẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ bóṣù bá ṣe kéré tó tó ṣọba ìyàwó ọlọ́run mà ní àánú ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ bísí.
Radio just got excited.
Let's go.
This is
Vicinity FM 95.3. Connection to the sounds that surround you.
hit music belongs here.
I got the keys to the city.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
It's been a while on the show. Well, I've been here and there lately. Well, eventually. Today we get to make a date. We get to keep today. And here I am. I'd say it's been 2 weeks now when we last, had them teachers' affairs. OLUWAFUNKE Israel saying join us on Teachers Affairs where we bring you updates about recruitment events surrounding the education sector, primary, secondary and higher institution of learning. Well, it's no news. The West African Examination Council released the results for the 2024-2025 senior certificate examination, and a lot has been going on. A lot is out there over this particular results release. From WAEC saying that just 38% of the students who sat for this exam had 5 credits, including English and Maths, which is the worst in 5 years. The poor results so far in the last 5 years. And parents coming to say, well, you know why the one of English happened. You made our children, sit for exams late at night due to some paper leakage and all of the circumstances surrounding that event. Well, today, National Association of Nigerian Students and teachers, parents, institutions, education institutions have come to blame all of this on the system. Now, the system does not have a face or a name. We blame it on the system. What system? We all are in the system, and we are all part of the system. We constitute the system, and that's why we are here. So if we say we blame it on the system, we are the system. You're all parents, and you're part of the system. As the boards is also part of the system. The education sector is also part of the system. And the teachers are also part of the system. The students as well, who, are sat for these exams, are also part of the system. So altogether, we are the system that made this happen. We made, our students fail. While we blame it on them, we blame it on the system, and we are the system. And at this point, it is important, for issues like this to be addressed in the ever-growing world of the internet today, where our children are, just too busy and distracted by, the internet. Of course, what do we expect? Be right back.
Got that sauce in it.
Thank you for sticking to the vicinity this afternoon. Well, parents also have said, well, for the fact that you allow our children sit for the exams at night, so this is it. Maybe you're going to withdraw the English papers that that children failed. Well, this is all that's going on right now following the release of the WAEC results by the West African Examination Certificate Board. With that being said, this takes me to Lagos. Let's go. Oh, well, right here, I am now in Lagos. Lagos teachers are seeking the implementation of 65 years retirement age. And we have continued to hear groups and civil servants at various sectors seeking the implementation of 65 years retirement. And at this point teachers in Lagos have once again called on the state government to, without further delay, implement the law increasing the retirement age of public school teachers from 60 to 65 years, or extend their years of service from 35 to 40 years, describing the government's inaction on the matter as foot-dragging. Well, they also appeal to the government to also improve their welfare package, training opportunities, reward system, and general working conditions to boost the dignity of the teaching profession. Let me add that aside general working condition, that's important. Of course, infrastructure, school. Today, one of the most poor infrastructure in the sectors we have in the country is the education sector, especially in public schools. Sometimes you go to some places and you ask yourself, are these where students take classes? We talk about ambience and serene environments and conducive environments. Well, these are all in the books. We don't see it sometimes in the works. And this is great. It's a great. It's I think it's become one of the biggest concerns in in our public schools today. So just today also people with disabilities who are of Abuja inhabitants and decent has come to say, well, if we are even saying that we want our children who are with disabilities to attend public schools, the facilities are not there, So how do we get to do this? Even for people that do not have disabilities, the facilities are not even there, let alone for children who have disabilities, for people who are with disabilities. If you don't even have, infrastructure that can cater for people who do not have disabilities, then can we even talk about pupils or children or students live with disabilities when we have not even taken care of people not living with disabilities? When you are supposed to put in of a structure in a place, to cater for people living with disabilities, you have to go the extra mile, because there are some things that some things in addition, system and infrastructure you have to bring in to ensure that they also have access to whatever public space, education, go to school. Are there enough infrastructure for even people that are not living with disabilities? Then have we even catered for these people, let alone people living with disabilities? These and more are the questions we should be asking, and we should continue to clamor for, because if you go to other experience of very developed nation, at every point in time, well, these are cases that are still also addressed even beyond Africa, but that they are kind of mindful of how they put infrastructure in place, especially when they know that they're not only considering a particular category of people or gender or groups, they are considering everyone involved when it comes to the issue of making that infrastructure serve people living with disabilities or people not living with disabilities. When our country today, even when you go to a public facility, some of it do not even have make provision, you know, to for people living with disabilities to access it, especially when it comes to access, you know. And if you can't access a place, you can't even enjoy whatever service or whatever thing they are offering. So that facility is like saying it's out of bound for you, because there's no way you can access it because you live with disabilities. So these are calls. So how do we get to cater for children living with disabilities when the ones not living with disabilities is still even very, very hard for us to do what is needful? Yeah, these are the things we have on the table this afternoon. And we can never rule this out. The teachers have continued to demand, and they say they deserve more than minimum wage. That's the minimum wage of 70,000 naira. Now this brings me to Osun. You know, recent times there's been uproar in Osun State following the recruitment of over 1,700 Imole Corps by the governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke. At the time, people had been clamoring that, okay, there was this recruitment that came up. A number of persons, you know, applied, and the thing just stalled without information. People are just sitting down, you know, waiting and hoping that the government will call them back, you know, to come and fully resume duty or complete the recruitment process so they can also join the education board and be deployed to schools to go teach. At this point, then the Imole Corps, Teachers Corps came up. The people are saying, us, where we don't call, say, you know, we are here now. We started a recruitment, you know, through the boards, education board, you know, and that is the Suburb or Tescom, you know, all of the boards we have. And they're saying that you have not completed this process. We're yet to be called. That is, if we're going through a recruitment process, there will be an end to it. It's either you give us a job or you tell us to go home. But this is has just stalled. And nothing has been done about it. And now you're talking about Imole Corps, Imole Teachers Corps. And then, you know, there was a lot that went down when the announcement was made and the news broke. Our stakeholders were concerned, groups, you know, National Association of Nigerian Students say, are these people even well trained? Are they qualified teachers? Are they professionals in the field that you have decided, you know, maybe because of the calls, people have continued to push that bring teachers, recruit teachers, let the ones who have started the recruitment process, you know, put them in the system. And maybe this was just a pressure, you know, on the state government to eventually, you know, bring in over 1,700, you know, Imole Teachers Corps. And at this point, you know, people have continued to say reverse it or make sure these people are well trained. Do they even have, you know, teachers training and all of that? Well, that really was a bust this week in Osun State. Since last week, of course, we've had you know, that report, and it's been making rounds. And at this time, you know, some other things happened that eventually did not put out the noise. It's just that people just got carried away with other things in the state, and well, that I wouldn't say the talk died down. I just say that people were just moved from, you know, that's what we do. We move from one thing to another. The next big story, the next big controversy, the next big issue, and we start to, you know, run with that until something else comes. And this is also a cry by, you know, teachers waiting at home, sitting at home, and hoping that the recruitment process will be completed and they can, you know, be deployed to schools or join the system. But this time, well, we've not really had any explanation. All we know that the Imole Teachers Corps is what is in force now. Yeah, at this point, until there is something again, let's see if there is hope for this. People's teachers were expecting that, you know, something will be done and then their recruitment process will be completed, and they just pick up their employment letter and join the service. Well, this is what's on in Oshun at the moment over, issues around the teaching profession, primary and secondary school. We're on Facebook at Vicinity 95.3 FM. Thank you, Oluwatola Olamilekon says, good afternoon, OLUWAFUNKE Israel. Thank you, good afternoon. How are you, Oluwatola? Thank you. We're also on YouTube at Vicinity 95.3 FM.
Person got that sauce in it.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your brand or launch your hustle for enhanced value? Vicinity 95.3 FM Ikejile, Ijesha, Osun State is calling on public and private establishments to advertise your goods and services with a wider reach in Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Ekiti, Kwara, Oyo, and Kogi states. Let's push your products and services to a new height. For more information on advert placement, partnership, or program sponsorship, please call Giwa on 081 12 499 685, 081 12 499 685, or OLUWAFUNKE on 070 6106 3557. We offer only premium services at Vicinity 95.3 FM.
Vicinity FM ọ̀gálàjẹ́ adéọlá noise ní ẹ̀ máa gbọ́ mo fọwọ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀yà. Believe Wilders follow Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá.
Person got that sauce in it.
One thing that's coming today in the civil service is there's been this call, clamor, plead, the urge, whatever word you can use to describe it, in for, civil servants' welfare. And also today we're saying for teachers as well, please look after our welfare. And experts have urged government to prioritize teachers' welfare to drive national growth, and stakeholders in the country in the education sector have called on the government at all levels, local, state, federal government. When we hear stories of the poor infrastructure, teachers not well catered for, the first thing that comes to mind is federal government, Ministry of Education, and all of that. But we should go down to the state government. We should go down to the local governments. Local councils seeing to the affairs of public schools on their watch. Public schools on the local council. They have to cater for them. And then when it's even hard to pay salaries, would you even be considering, pursuing to see that infrastructure is well laid, or other things that will bring about ambience and environment, conducive for learning? Do we even consider all of this? But the only thing we're jumping on is, okay, let us just pay their salary, let us rest. When another time comes, we'll pay their salary. If we don't have it, they will wait. Then you hear teachers are protesting and all of that. But it's important that we take a crucial step towards building a thriving and global competitive nation. And how can we even compete when we're not even ready? How can we compete when there's still a lot to do, for our teachers and also for that sector? What are we competing? It's very, just recently, look at the young girls who excelled at that competition globally. We all celebrated them, but trust me, some people made that happen. Their teachers, their parents, maybe the schools they're enrolled in. Now, if you check, I'm not saying students or pupils in public primary schools don't do well. Of course, we've seen geniuses in these schools, but somehow, do we have a good number of them? What's the percentage of students that are doing well in these public schools? What's the percentage? Back in the days, you hear children go to public school and people don't bat an eye. They just say, of course, public schools are doing well by these students. But nowadays, the moment you mention your child is in public school, people will be like, TSC, bye. They just feel a kind of sense of pity for you. They'll be like, how are you going to? So these are the things. Now we applaud these children when they go make us proud out there on the global scene. But what are we doing to make sure we secure their future? Well, I guess this is where I get to say bye on the show because I'm about to be kicked out. But these are the questions. While we are, seeing some of our students and pupils doing great things, we want to expand the numbers, enlarge that numbers. We want to see many of them thrive because we can not only depend on the 2% out of 100%. We need to make at least above average 70. Then we say we're making progress. Maybe we can lift it to 80. Then we say maybe we are doing all that we can to see that we sustain and make the education sector grow. And the only way we can do it is make sure that all stakeholders have their hands on board, supporting teachers, students, infrastructure, and what is needed, to have everything together. Because if we allow one side suffer, others will also, bear the brunt of it all. So we have to align everything to make sure that this system works. And OLUWAFUNKE, thank you for joining us on Teachers Affairs this afternoon on your dial station, Vicinity 95.3 FM. Until we come away next week from the hour of 1 to 1:30. I'm yours truly. And thank you, Oluwatola Olamilekon. Say good afternoon, OLUWAFUNKE. A beautiful afternoon to you. Bye for now.